I always have to wait that extra second or I wind up coming in on myself talking. So I figured I'd work on a loom hat, and you can all watch me work on a loom hat. Not quite an AMSR, but hey, why not? We'll see how far I go. So I have my own wool that I spin, but I also pick up, can you see how old that tape is? Okay. That was masking tape once. It's now yellowed and aged. I go to the thrift store and I pick up giant bags of miscellaneous yarn. Some of it's good quality, some of it's crap, some of it's fun, funky, whatever. I make scarves, I make hats, I make blankets. Every scarf, every hat, and every blanket I've ever made has found a home. I never lose money, I never make money, but I never lose money on it. I usually crochet, but crocheting requires the same as writing with a pen, and this arthritis right here, right now, is incredibly painful. Crocheting also requires keeping track, and some days the brain just ain't got it. So I start out, I have giant bags of balls of yarn, most of which are about yay big. And I pick colors that go together. In this case, I've got a rust orangish and a yellow orangish. And I tie a loop. And I grab my hoop. This is a hoop that I can adjust. This is the size of my head. This is the size of the husband's head. I am not saying that the husband has a smaller head than me, but the husband has a smaller head than me. His hats will not fit my head. My head is too big. Anyway, I hook this on. I have one peg marked, and I hook this on. A lot of hoops have a tie-off spot right here. I don't like the tie-off spot. That's me. There's lots and lots of videos on how to do this. You can loom knit videos. I'm not actually showing you step by step how to do it because I'm not that patient, but you just sit here and you hook this around, and it requires no grip strength whatsoever, and you don't have to count, and believe me, I make enough mistakes and have to tear it out. It's not even funny. And when you get done with the first hoop, you pull these down, watch, see how that just pulled down? And you loop so that you have two on each peg. And I'll show you when I'm done. I thought this was down farther, but it's not. Pull those down, loop, pull those down. I'm using my fingernails. Okay, so I'm just pulling them down and loop. We're in this nebulous dead zone on getting a house where we have to wait again. And it's like, why did the real estate agent tell us, let's go look at these houses, you're ready to go, when what she meant was, let's go look at these houses so I can get a better idea of what you want for when you're ready to go. And I'm a little really burnt out at the emotional game of it, because I went in the other day expecting to pick out a house and buy a house, and she knew darn well that we weren't ready yet, that there was one more hoop that had to be done. Okay, so once I have two on each peg, if you buy a hoop new, it comes with this little L hook thingy that's dull. This one's incredibly sharp. I like this one better, okay? Now the problem with using a sharp one, and the reason the modern ones don't use a sharp one, is you dig the heck out of your loom. Can you see how that's all dug up? Everywhere it's white and scrunchy, it's where this is dug into it. So they went with the L one that's dull. The problem with the L one that's dull is when you're trying to get underneath this piece of yarn, it's not that easy and you end up pushing the yarn around. And the sharper ones work better, so I have an old sharper one. It's a matter of they didn't like having loom knit sets being sold to 9-year-olds with a razor sharp, or it's you can poke a hole. You can use this as a leather awl. Okay, and they didn't like having that sold to kids, so they went with the dull one. But with the dull one, you wind up leaving pieces. You wind up, I don't have anything to give an example. You wind up pushing the yarn a lot, and then picking up only part of the yarn. So when you go to pull over, some of the yarn might stay behind. As opposed to with a sharp one, you just go like that. Angle. Okay, I gotta see what I'm doing. There we are. Anyway, so this is what I've been doing for the last month and a half. I'm doing 1 to 3 hats a day the days that I do it. Some days I don't do it, so, you know. I have a bet with myself that I can get 100 of these done before we get a house bought. I started that bet on February 27th, I think it was, and I've got over 50 hats made. So, the actual bet was, I have back arthritis on the MS, and it started going out, and when it starts to go out, it takes about 3 to 5 days of decreasing strength in the back, and then it's just really miserable, and it lasts anywhere from 6 months to 3 months. And I made a bet with the husband that I could do 100 scarves while I'm stuck in the chair, because walking really hurts right now, and standing up and sitting down really hurts. If you've ever been with me in public or anywhere where I'm like, nah, I don't want to sit, it's because there's this transition zone that is just a jolt of blinding pain. And I'd rather stand once I'm standing. Problem is, once I'm sitting, I'd rather sit because I don't want to have to stand. So at home, I sit down in the chair, I don't get back up. That can be my entire until I have to go pee so bad it hurts. I don't want to get back up, it hurts. So anyway, see, now I'm putting 2 rows on again, and then I'll pry them, and then I'll flip them over the thing, and you just keep doing that. And when you get enough done, you can put a band on if you want, a hat band on if you want. If you don't want, you curl it, and it's just making hats. You can make a scarf with these by going to here and going back and going to here and going back and never joining this part here. I don't know if that made sense. Who knows? It's April 1st. I hate April Fool's Day. I hate practical jokes. I'm avoiding Facebook because I don't want to lose respect for people, because some of your practical jokes are just fucking dumb. You know? And I'm tired. Hi. I'm drinking tea, not coffee. That's part of the reason why I'm tired. I limit myself to 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and maybe 1 more later on in the day, because if I don't limit myself, then I drink 6 to 12 cups of coffee every single day, and it gets to be excessive, and it gets to be an issue on its own. And each cup of coffee is about 200 calories, whereas each cup of tea is about 100 calories. So the easiest way to cut some calories out is to cut my coffee down, because I can cut 600 to 800 calories out by cutting my coffee down. Yeah, it's a problem. I live on coffee. Right now I want to see how low I can get my coffee intake before the kidneys and the lungs get wet. That's what I'm looking at. And then I'll boost the coffee back up again and bitch about my kidneys and my lungs for a while. It's a constant, it's a tightrope, you know? It's almost 10 minutes. I'm on the next round. See? It's just that fast. It takes about an hour and a half to make a hat. If I don't put a hat band in, about 2 hours to make it if I do. I'd reach over there and grab one of those hats to show you. I've shown you them in the past. And I'm not wearing any pants, so I don't really want to move that much in front of the camera. Yeah. When I started this, I made a point to myself that I wasn't going to take the time to make myself look better than I would look that day anyway, because I want to be honest with myself, and it's working. I did not put on the bra exclusively for the camera. This just happens to be a bra day. Yeah. And now there's 2 rows again. And in case you missed it, you take the hook, you slide it in, there's a groove, you slide it in the groove, you pick this up and you pull it over that one, and you just knit. And knitting is just that simple. Now, I cannot do that with knitting needles. I have tried to learn how to knit 1,000 times, and the dyslexia just won't do it. That's all there is to it. I mean, it's really, really fast once you get it set. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.